Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to paradise. Here I am in the Cook Islands. Where are the Cook Islands, I hear you ask? Well, think Tahiti, because Tahiti and the Cook Islands were one. They're the same people, and they were divided up by the colonizers. So the French took Tahiti and the English took the other half of the archipelago, and it became the Cook Islands. So it is gorgeous. I'm on the island of Rarotonga. Sadly, I'm here for a family memorial. So it's not all frangipanis and ukuleles. It's actually a very sad time for us. But at the same time, Polynesians do the death thing really well and they celebrate life. They're really good at it. So it's a very mixed bag. And here we are. You haven't seen big families till you've seen these families, let me tell you. I'm talking about 260 first cousins, that sort of thing. Gigantic families. And there's only one television channel. So there's nothing to do except go to church and make babies. So you spend your time going to christenings, right? But it is divine. But because I'm in this other vibe, this other world, I thought I don't want to do a straight political reading. I thought let's lift the vibration while I'm here and look at some more issues about us as people, as human beings. Can we do better than we've done before? And you know what? We need to. So let's do this. So just to connect the worlds, I'm going to ask, how will the American elections change the American psyche in a way? Is there going to be a shift? And then we'll move to the rest of the world. Oh my God. It's breathtaking here. Absolutely breathtaking. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the American psyche. Obviously, it's going to be mixed, but what I'm looking for is there a shift? Is there a change on the horizon? Okay, let's see. Oh, they're upside down. Well, that's interesting. The winner thing, the obstacle. Advice for the future. Hard work. Well, this is food for thought. Sorry, I'm so croaky. Okay. Now, the very first card is the card of victory. So that's what's so weird about this midterms is, although it wasn't a technical victory for the Dems, it was certainly a loss for the other side. So I think this is important to keep the victory in mind, because just for it not to have been a total disaster is a victory. There was a pushback against Magadam, you know. What is the obstacle for America? Defensiveness. Now, I'm acutely aware of this because America, being a young country like Australia, cannot progress until it reflects and learns to take criticism, just like a child needs to grow up and learn to take criticism constructively. It's the same for nations. And so I occasionally, not often, but occasionally, I get a vicious comment from a viewer because they've only seen one video. And they go, who do you think you are as an Australian? You know, talking about us. What would you know about America? Well, sometimes I reply, sometimes I don't. The point is, it's essential to look at history and present things, to learn. And this is what is so important, to not be defensive and to learn that things can be better in other places. So there was a very good scene, I think it was in House of Cards or something. If I can find the link, I'll put it up on this video. I think this is important. So there's a politician addressing a group of college students. And the question is, what makes America great? This is before Trump and everything. And people say things like freedom, blah, 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 blah. Well, other countries are free too. And they're not afraid of their children being gunned down in kindergarten. And they actually can have serious health conditions, and that's paid for by their taxes. They're not criminally charged by pharmaceutical rorts, etc. My point being, you get it, you guys, I'm preaching to the choir. To realize, to get better, America needs to realize what's wrong, what's really wrong. Okay. Now, the way forward, in essence, is the Page of Swords. Now, in this reading, in this spread, this is having the sword raised. This is my Greta Thunberg card, you know, climate change, etc., etc. This is young people, and also people of any age who are still young, thinking and care. Keep up the good fight. What's behind this? It has to be the end of the King of Wands. Sorry, that era has gone where rich men rule the world. So when you have corporate greed dictating policy in so many countries, including Australia, including the UK, with greed rules, remember the Wolf of Wall Street and all that. When greed rules, it means some people will benefit and many will suffer. And the King of Wands doesn't care. And we do need to care. We need to start thinking as a collective. I'm loving this next card. What's the energy over the reading? Two of Cups, black and white, and everything in between, men and women, and everything else you choose to identify as. Everything's all right. It's about respect, tolerance, diversity, and supporting each other with dignity. Oh. Okay, advice from the universe. And this is the Justice card. When we designed these cards, this is sort of a thinly veiled reference to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's related to this card, what people should be doing and advice from the universe. It's really important to keep justice, social justice, in the front of your mind. The next sort of medium-term outcome, there's work to be done. Now, that's spiritual work, practical work, things moving towards a better outcome and a better world. We can all do our bit. And final outcomes, new shoots on the Ace of Wands. Ace, brand new day. Energy, fire energy, burning away what needs to go and allowing the green shoots to come forward. The green economy. You know, this isn't a hippie pipe dream, the dream economy. Oh, I like that. Let's call it the dream economy. But I meant to say the green economy. It's not just because we should and need to because of filthy fossil fuels sucking out the air from the world. No, it's because it is the obvious way forward so we can have electricity in the future, so we can have the toys that we like and appreciate. If we want them to continue, we need to find green ways to power these things. Electric cars are only good once we make sure we get our electricity from sustainable sources. I mean, at the moment it's good, they're not pumping out the filth, But that's only half the story. The other half of the story is electricity has to be ethically sourced. And we have sun, and we have wind, and we have thermal and hydroelectric. We have everything, water, water, water. We have it all. Do we use it? No, because 6 people can make lots of money out of coal. Why do we have fracking? Because another half a dozen people, I'm talking, like that, very few people can make huge profits. It's got to change, got to shift. Now is the hour. Okay, I'm going to go global now because I'm still sort of intrigued in a way. Ukraine has captured the world's imagination, and I think symbolically, Ukraine represents, hopefully, please, I pray to all the gods with an S on the end of God, that this is going to be the last conventional, let's kill and mutilate people and call it a victory. Let's hope it's the very last one. Oh, I think we should all pray for that, because the Ukrainian people are so exceptionally strong, resilient, magnificent. You've got people, particularly young people, who were leading just lives on the internet and going to work and gaming and doing whatever they were doing, who are now on the front line for defending their country. And I wonder how many countries could say that about their youth. So Ukraine is exceptional. So what am I saying? Let's talk about war, because wars used to make money for the oligarchs, because oligarchs aren't a new thing. We just got used to the word with Russian oligarchs, but really America is an oligarchy, Australia is almost an oligarchy, except we have healthcare, which is, rich corporations dictating and getting the prize, getting the pot, and everyone else, trickle-down economics, good term, gets the drips. So war no longer makes money, and therefore it is not a profitable thing. So let's see, will the Ukraine be the last conventional war? Will the Ukraine be the last conventional war? Well, yeah, but no, but. Yeah, but no, but. Okay. Not clear yet. Not clear yet with the moon. But let's talk about the moon for a moment. The moon card, howling at the moon. There's often an element of mental issues with the moon. And to a certain extent, you could say conventional war is insane. Well, you could, couldn't you? Really? Okay. The other thing is, this is a domestic dog and the wild wolf. We have to reconcile our feelings when we don't like another group of people or another country or whatever, which is an absurd concept. But instead of going to war, we need to bring those two things together, our wild natures and our tame natures. Now, further, the pillars of wisdom, as I call them in tarot, the message or the path to enlightenment through the pillars of wisdom has to include the feminine and the intuitive and that nurturing dream state. We have our rational world and we have all these other capacities, all of us, not just professional readers and so forth. We all have these inherent abilities to use other senses. Some call it the sixth sense. We need to employ this to move on from war. Actual disputes need to be decided in courts, whether it's the World Court in The Hague or wherever. disputes need to be resolved fairly and legally. Now, we could have a false dawn. Now, on the upside, this Knight of Cups is a fluidity between the masculine and the feminine, and someone who can move forward. It can be also a very musical, artistic time, flourishing of the arts. We've got to be careful we don't get sidetracked because there's still work to be done. Remember that first spread? But I think music and the arts have something to offer that to get us to the other side of this hell. So in the 60s, those of us, I was more of the 70s, but the whole music of the 60s and 70s, it was the revolution in itself. Music changed people. Where is the soundtrack for now, is my question. I think we need something we can rally around. Remember in the 80s, there was Band Aid for Africa, right, where artists from all over the world got together. Remember that? We Are the World. Well, we need a new soundtrack. And Eight of Cups, walking away from the old way of doing things. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave it there because I have to go and meet another 12 or 14 relatives that arrived on the plane this morning, and that's on top of the 22 that arrived last night, and that's on top of the ones who live here. So I'm going to be busy, but I had to get back to you. Love. Aloha from the Pacific. Bye. Ciao.